Thank you, bass guy.
Thank you, bass guy.
How much this episode ran pretty much right before or after, I don't remember what is the actual lineup of Superhero Time, but how much it ran next to the Good Jojo debut. And it seems that the writing staff already knew when Good Jojo is going to debut, so they're kind of like, okay, we're going to let Good Jojo kind of be the run, the thing that people really talk about this week. It's fine. We're going to have some sort of a lighter episode, but still like a lot happening in it, which is weird. It's a lot of like lore. A lot of lore happened. Nothing really big, like lore-wise, but it was important enough. Specifically, we actually got to see what happened when Shoma actually got to meet Hanto's mom, which was pretty obvious what happened to her after that. It was so obvious. Hanto already knew what happened. But it was genuinely great to see how much he actually really wanted to help Shoma to find his mom. Pretty much, hey, don't worry, little kid, I would help you to find your mom. How dare they, how evil of the stomach to kidnap a kid. Again, it was so interesting, and like she was the only one that actually got to escape from everybody else that the stomach captured. It really is interesting. And like the moment that she learned that Shoma was pretty much one of the stomachs, she kind of shoved them away, which kind of a nasty move, but like, hey, like when one of your captures, like you find a kid and it's like you actually like, oh, like this kid looks neat and he looks nice and he like, oh, would help him to find his mom. Oh, he is connected to one of the people that captured me. Fuck that kid. I don't know. It was kind of like some of a closing circle. Like I was one of the few people who said, hey, like Hanto's mom didn't die when the dog Renu took her. She was made into a spice, but I don't believe like she died straight away. I was correct, but she did die in the end. Like literally, Lango killed Hantos' mom in front of him. Literally, Hantos' mom last words were about Hanto, which was sad. And it was great to see how much Hanto kind of like said to Shomas, hey, it's not your fault. Like, you were a kid. It's clearly not your fault. That was like really good. He never blamed him. He said, yeah, like I've seen it. I already knew it would have happened. For me, it's kind of like a closing moment. He never got mad. He was understanding. He composed himself. He pretty much said, hey, I just need some me time. I discovered that. Like how much I was ready for it mentally, emotionally. I need some me time. Which was great. Again, it shows how much Hanto as a character really grew. While like having him kind of reunite with some old friend, being like being one of the Prairie hooligans that he hung around with, was really interesting. It was really fun, like to see how much like Hantos' past is so much different than what he is right now. And also it was kind of fun to just kind of like, oh yeah, he mentioned his old mentor that I forgot his name, but he died, so I don't know how much it really matters. It was like genuinely fun, and having him pretty much kind of, after he left, having the owner of the restaurant that they met at kind of give the friend money and say, hey, tell me how much, like tell me how much you know about this guy, which I think could be kind of like the show trying to mislead us of like, oh yeah, he's a bad guy, he's a bad Granute. Like, again, it could be like the show mislead us that, oh, we think he's a bad Granut because the way the show, how the episode kind of presents him as, but I think that he's actually a good Granut, or like the show trying to kind of double swerve us. It's like, oh, the show would think that he's a good Granut, but he's actually a bad Granut. It is really interesting how the show is going to kind of play this part off. I'm interested in that. And that was really it for Hanto, to be honest. Like, his friend called for like a monster attack, and he pretty much called like, no, I think he called Amane, or like Amane called Shoma and Lakia. And Shoma and Lakia came in and they dealt with Peter Gavv, while like Hanto went away and dealt with the monster. Again, it really depends what the show is going to do with this new Granut. It's or someone that is expecting to fight off Hanto, or someone that's going to help him. Because it is going to be interesting moving forward what the show is going to do with Hanto. Mainly because he got a new little present from Suga, and that is brand new good chisels that he developed, which are made by bitter chocolate. Like the bitter Gavv that I made. Hanto, why the fuck are you not understanding that I made bitter Gavv? Are you a fucking idiot? It is interesting to see. It's like, okay, what are those new bitter chocolate fucking good chisels? Like, does he have some sort of a brain fucking control over him? Would he control him? And like, this is what's going to be the first time that like Hanto is going to fully like fight Shoma, and that is mind control Hanto. Again, I'm interested, truly am. While it was great that like Lakia and Hanto pretty much said, okay, let's just investigate what the fuck is going on with this bitter Gavv kid, and they went on to talk to Dente, which at first didn't work that well, because the first thing he said to Lakia is like, yeah, I was a part of the development of the dog treats. They almost fucking killed him. Luckily Shoma passed out and they kind of like relaxed, which we actually got to have some company lore. We discovered that pretty much Stomach Inc. was pretty much started as a regular candy factory by Dente and his brother Jeb. Or Jeb. It's Jeb. The way that my like subs kind of had his name spelled out is Z-A-B. And it's like the Z had a little weird like squiggly line like under it. I don't know what the fuck that means, so I'll just call him Zeb. So Zeb and him just created candies, and they were semi-successful. And then, Zeb went to Earth, and he got himself some spice, and he gave it to Dente, and this is how they created the dog treats. So, this is where I kind of go back to the dark treats and how they were created, at least before they started modifying the Granuts, because now it's kind of like, hey, we don't need to capture them, we don't need to do anything, we pretty much like pull our Gavvs out, a tongue sticks, and we pretty much freezing them. Easy. Back in the day, they like needed to kidnap them and pretty much boil them. Yep. It's weird that now like the more evil Granuts, which like I think like Lango and pretty much the rest, or at least what left of the Stomach family, they want to control things. They're not in it for the money. So it's like they're doing it in the more slightly humane way. It's like, oh, we're freezing them. They're not like burning alive. It's weird that the ones that care about the money more were the ones that did like make the spices in the most inhumane way possible. It's so interesting. Yeah, like the entire thing of like, oh, this is how they used to make the spices, and seeing more of the Stomachs as a family is really fucking neat. Like, it seems that, again, I'm still saying that with now seeing both, I forgot the name of Shoma's dad We saw Longo's, like, pretty much Granute form. We got to see Zep. It seems that, like, hey, most of the Granutes that are male and semi-related to on the side of like, I forgot the name of the dad, but like they don't have this very animalistic look as much. But again, it really depends. Specifically, the boys don't really look that animalistic. The girls has animal theming to them. So I don't believe Shoma is the dog Granute. He's not that, or the hound. I don't remember if it was a dog or a hound that kidnapped Hanto's mom. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like that was genuinely fun. Like the interactions between Lakia and Dente were fun. Like seeing more of the stomachs, kind of like before even the time of like Longo, was genuinely great. And now we get to know that the bitter Gavs are pretty much a bunch of clones. They're like Makoto from like Ghost. So it's like a bunch of different clones, and they don't carry on the same memories of their predecessors. So it seems that each and every bitter Gavv is going to be a little bit different. Like you can clearly see this, the original bitter Gavv, the one from like 2 episodes ago, was he was cruel if you really think about it. He was genuinely cruel. He would attack people randomly. While this one is a lot more playful, like you can really see, like bitter Gavv, like this one is like, oh, we just speed a color on with a person on it. I'm not going to even kill him. I'm just going to fucking play it as a fucking like a blade, and he like fucking do like goggles with his fucking hands, and he uses the sword as some sort of a ponytail. Like it seems that each and every bitter Gavv is going to be slightly different, which is fun, and I love how playful he is. And he drops a lore drop, not only that there is a bunch of him, but also that he has a master. And if they want to actually like learn who this master is, they need to chase him, which was really great because, oh my god, we have a new like redesigned Vulcan that you can buy. And pretty much like Shoma looked at Lucky and was like, you don't have a bike. I'm the only one here that has an actual bike. So take care of those humans, which could be really interesting if just Lucky is like, I'm not doing anything. He just leaves. Or he goes he just calls like paramedics, like, take care of them. I don't give a shit. And he leaves. I don't know. Like that would be really funny. And pretty much the entirety of like Shoma's interaction with Chasuka was great because like Chasuka was understanding and Chasuka got it. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. Like, she's like, I'm going to help you no matter what. And I'm just going to make you die from fucking type 1 diabetes. For fuck's sake. Like, come on. Like, you don't need to give him that many sweets. And just having her pretty much say, can I watch you? Like, that's a good chizo? It's like, oh, that's a fetish. She has a fetish. And having her try to help Shoma in some sort of way, kind of like trying to clear his name and say, oh no, he looks like my friend, but that's not my friend. Like, he's just an imposter. He's like, oh, yeah, because that works, because that's how the internet works. One person is trying to say, one person saying, oh yeah, that guy isn't a murderer. He's my friend. I don't know, that's kind of funny. But yeah, like overall, how much it was, I think a slightly lighter episode if we look at it next to last week or even 2 weeks ago. I still believe it's a lighter episode, but I genuinely really enjoyed it. Again, it had really great character interactions. It had really interesting lore drops that, yeah, like are small if you really think about it, but they're still meaningful enough for the conversation for the show because the writer staff knew that, okay, they're going to run next to a debuting Sentai with a really interesting premise. They're not going to be the Fiend that are going to be on everybody's lips this week. So they understood, okay, let's do something good enough in our pretty much parameters of what the show is. So I am interested in what's going forward, what's going to happen in next week's episode, and pretty much like the rest of this arc, because like I came to this arc in very low kind of like feeling about it. Again, like Bitter Gavv being a clone, like I thought this is going to be just one clone, but now we have multiples. Like Hanto and Shoma kind of reconciled in a very interesting way, in a very kind of like introspective way. That was great. Like now we're just kind of like tagging along. Like it seems that next episode is going to be the big one. Yeah, I really enjoyed episode 22. This episode gets an A+. So, what you thought about Kamen Gavv episode 22? Comment below, let me know. So, if you liked the video, please smash that like button. Also, if you haven't helped your subscribe button achieve its true goal of becoming a subscribed button, please smash that subscribe button. Don't forget, you're the only one that can prevent forest fires. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day. Bye bye!